It's that time of year when you enjoy getting together with family and friends. So why not make a project to celebrate the special occasions together? That's right, we are filming live from the Creative Connection event in St. Paul, Minnesota. And we're so excited because we have Stacy, Julian, and Cathe Holden sharing some of their favorite family projects. I'm Kim.
And I'm Chris.
And you're watching The DIY Dish. Welcome back to the DIY Dish, where we are here with Stacy, Julian at the Creative Connection event in St. Paul, Minnesota. And Stacy, we have been a fan of yours for a long time. She was once the editor and founder of Simple Scrapbook magazine.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
And now she's a founder of Big Picture Classes, which is an online community of courses being taught in scrapbooking and all kinds of
photography,
areas,
journaling,
right?
yes. And I'm a huge fan of yours. Let's just get that on the record. So.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, we are here to talk about creating family keepsakes.
Yes.
And who better than Stacy Julian, right?
Because I have so many children, or what?
A little bit of everything.
A little bit
right?
of everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And she has this darling idea, and it's not your typical scrapbook. So share with us what you did.
First, tell us about your children, because this is what inspired you to do this.
Okay, I absolutely will. So I have 4 sons, and then we adopted a little girl from Korea. So the thing that inspired, and I'm so glad you asked, Chris, because most of the projects I make start with a story, or they start with a concept, something that I want to have happen.
Sure.
In other words, I don't feel guilt towards my pictures. I just want to create stories.
Yeah.
Okay, so the story behind this project is the fact that Addie is now at the age where she knows that she doesn't look like her family.
Yeah.
And she's had some experiences that have caused her to stop and wonder. And so I thought, okay, you need to know you belong.
Yes.
So this little project is called When I See You. And okay, and check out the format. And this is what I want you to take away from this episode is you might not be a scrapbooker, and no big deal. Okay, so you don't have to have some long-term commitment to organizing photos or making like endless projects. Just do something with some of your pictures, okay? And this is the kind of little thing, the format you can find in a craft store, you know? But open it up, this is a little lunch tin, there's a little mini book inside, it's a chipboard book, Addie's on the front. Title page says, When I See You, and then I invited every member of my family to write a little note to Addie. So this is her oldest brother. When I see you, your smile and happiness overcome me, blah, 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 blah. Okay, and then Chase, this one is super cute because Chase says, you're a chick magnet. So Chase is 16 years old, and he knows when he's playing with Addie, the girls will come. Yeah. And then he tells her, you're not going to date till you're 30.
Oh, he's a good big brother.
Yeah, and then the sentiment is the same. Here's Trey, and he says, same thing. I can't wait till you grow up so I can chase the boys away. So she's got
some big brothers to protect her.
And let me talk briefly, just quickly about, see the sloppy handwriting?
Yeah.
I want that.
Yeah, yes. Absolutely.
Forget the fancy fonts and making it look perfect, because what I want is these boys and their handwriting. Okay, and then I make mistakes all the time. Also, I'll just end with admitting my mistake because I practice imperfection. But so I took all this time to make sure they wrote on the right page, and then I ended up writing on my husband's page, and so he had to write on my page, but we're married, it works.
Yeah.
But so that's just that's the kind of little project literally you can make in a weekend.
Yeah.
And it packs a punch in terms of family.
And do you know how good she's going to feel every time she opens that up?
Yeah.
She's going to feel very special.
It's going to have a special place in her bedroom, I'm sure. She'll look at it often. What a great gift idea, too, and what a great way to bring family together. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for having me.
So fun. You'll have to check out all of Stacy Julian's stuff at bigpictureclasses.com.
Yeah.
Great website, great place to go to learn new things. And again, thank you to Joanne Fabric and Craft Stores for sponsoring this episode.
Like this, you get to meet some pretty neat people in the industry, and one of those people is our friend Cathe Holden, and she has a pretty big blog called Just Something I Made, right? Is that how you came up with the name?
It is.
Really, it's just something I made? Yeah.
And I knew I wanted to have a blog that was actually my projects versus pulling in a lot of other projects and try to keep the content original. And
Well, she's an amazing graphic designer for one thing, but you dabble in a lot of things. Tell us about it.
I love crafting,
and
I love the graphic design spin on crafting, so I do a lot of design work that I'll do as free digital downloads on my blog, and I do some other writing for some other websites, and
Tell them about your biggest news
my
that you
biggest-
just found out about.
I'm a contributing craft editor for Country Living magazine now, so that's been a
Fantastic.
great big news. I'm very
Congratulations.
excited about that. It's a
That's
wonderful,
wonderful.
wonderful publication. Great
Yeah.
people to work with. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, we're really excited about the project that she's going to show all of us how to make, because you won't believe how this first got started. Tell us about it.
Simple canvas, 8 by 10.
Yeah.
And I really like to take something and just look at this very different. I mean, a canvas obviously is a blank, you could do anything with it.
Yeah.
But I wanted to turn it over and use this side of it.
Seriously?
Isn't that great?
How,
I love it.
How many people think of that? You
Well, it's
know,
like a
oh,
shadow
I'll do
box,
the other side.
right? I mean, it has a nice little framework
Yes,
to it. So,
yes.
and I thought, well, I'll come up with something to go in here, but I really want to cover these raw edges up.
Yes.
Sure.
Make it
And-
look pretty.
A lot of times if you collect enough stuff, things start to kind of partner up in your
Yeah.
studio, and I happen to have these laying around. These are vintage Kodak slides.
Oh,
cool.
wow.
And I thought, well, gosh, these might be kind of cute. And it turns out with an 8 by 10, these slides fit exactly around as a border, and it helps
Wow.
cover up a lot.
So where are you picking up things like this?
This I bought at an antique shop. I bought a little small suitcase cabinet full of slides. But you can buy these. You can buy these online on online auctions and vintage sites. And the slides
Such a great
themselves are
idea.
little. They're very cute to look at, but they're just too dark on here. So
Right. So what did you do to solve that problem?
we just popped these out, just like this.
Take one of those.
Popped out the slide, and these are fun because you can always come back and stitch them together along the top and make sort of a pendant,
sure.
over your window, and you can always look at the.
Oh, right through.
And I think people do a lot of clever things with these, but
Yeah.
you can do a lot. You can weave these together, sew them together by hand, and make it sort of a strip. I don't know.
Wow.
You'll think of something, right?
Oh, yeah.
But so
you
then-
will, I know for sure. Yeah.
So in exchange, we could stick our own family photo in there,
Oh, yeah.
and I would recommend turning it to black and white. Shrinking it down to fit.
Kind of gives that vintage feel still. Yes.
And then one other thing I had in my studio is I just collect other things from like garage sales. So I had
Yeah.
some laser jet overhead transparency film, which is the clearer sheets.
Yeah.
So I cut those out and laid them in first, and then the photo behind, and it gives it that sheen of
Oh,
a slide.
sure.
So it makes the
Yeah.
slide picture really shiny.
Uh-huh.
And then, as you can see,
So did you have to put some white paper behind it?
no, it's a piece of clear acetate with
Okay.
just a photocopy or a printout from your computer behind it of the picture you want, and I turn them on
Oh,
black and white.
Fantastic.
So you can do your family members. These are just ones I've picked up at antique shops or on an auction online or something, because I wanted a snow scene in each of them or a family scene. And then you
Wow.
have sort of a diorama that you can create.
Now tell us, how did you put that painting? It looks like a painting, but it's not a painting.
Well, not technically.
Yes.
It's actually, I love paint by numbers, vintage paint by numbers, and I scanned a vintage scene paint by number and printed it onto printable fabric that you can buy, usually
Sure.
packs of 7 to 10.
Right.
And they run through your machine. You can get two, for this particular size, you can get 2 scenes per sheet.
Okay.
Okay. And we just cut those out, peel the backing off. We used some Mod Podge, stuck it in there, and
Sure.
pushed it in, and then we had, so it almost looks like the
Unbelievable.
back side you painted on the inside back of the canvas, because you still get that fabric texture
Oh,
back
I
there.
love that.
And then, of course, how did you put that little banner together?
Well, I had actually gone ahead and printed out a lot of triangles with alphabets in them.
Yeah.
And the students today in my class, they just cut out whatever wording they wanted. They knew exactly, they had so many banner
Yeah.
pendants they could hang based on the space.
Sure.
And they fit what they wanted in there. And so silver bells, I was just thinking Christmas.
Oh.
And
So they could really personalize it.
so they could
however
customize
wanted.
if they wanted to
Family
put, Home Sweet Home or their family name, Welcome to the
Yes.
Holden House or something, if you could fit that on.
I love that.
And then this is just simple cotton balls.
Perfect.
A little bit of
a little
glitter.
tree. This is a tree that you can get in the miniature section of the craft store.
Yeah.
Right.
And I bleached it, just dropped it in some bleach. It just takes a minute or two to kind of give it that vintage look.
You are too smart.
Yeah.
And the rest is just Mod Podge and
Yeah.
mica flakes that I also just bought. I bought mine on the
hobby
line,
store.
and you can put those in your coffee grinder. Not one that you use on your coffee, but a separate one, and you can make it a finer dust if you want. So
I can
Wow.
just
We
imagine
did
what your studio looks like.
Well, you should have seen my class today because the mica container exploded on one of the students. It was precious, and she stood still
Nice.
long enough for us to take a lot of pictures, so that was good. So that's it.
Oh,
It's very
my
simple.
goodness. Very
Before adding
simple.
these, we trimmed it out with just some old ledger paper.
I love
If you want that, you don't have to do that. It's just a fun thing
But
to
a
add
nice
to
way
the
to
dimension.
finish.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Oh,
That's
that is
fantastic.
fantastic. How fun.
Thank
What
you.
a fun and easy project to do. Something that I bet if you have an old canvas lying around, you might have to rethink it and take a look and say, you know what?
Yeah.
I can think outside the box here a little bit because Cathe inspired us to do this, and I know she inspired you too. So we hope you enjoyed this episode today, and thank you for being with us. We hope you felt creativity was served. Bye-bye. Bye.